Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nevekot Onyeka Odori. Anytime I visit Twitter or any social media platform, the first thing I do is go to the pages of the notorious Twitter and social X and social media bandits. You know, some of those notorious hypocrites and the wicked men who were part of the rot in Nigeria, and see their positions. I just saw this afternoon Bashir Ahmad, you know, one of those notorious cankerworms that served in the kitchen cabinet of the most incompetent, rudderless, dumb, bubonic plague that ever ruined Nigeria for 8 years, Muhammadu Buhari. Bashir Ahmad was part of the kitchen cabinet. You know, that was a kitchen cabinet where people that were selling recharge card entered with Buhari into Asorok and came out billionaires, owning airlines and all those stuff. You know, shameless human beings. You know, Buhari became president when Nigeria had only 75 million people under poverty. By the time he left, over 197 million people have been pushed into poverty. Buhari became president when dollar to naira was 199 naira to $1. Left when it was almost 460 official rate, and then almost hitting 650 parallel market rate. Buhari became president when our crude oil output, Jonathan had over to crude oil output of about 2.3 million barrels a day. The Dundee, the rudderless, dumb. In fact, he went to tinker with the Niger Delta militants amnesty. By the time those guys finished bombing the oil pipeline, the thing got down to about 1 million barrels a day. It took God's intervention when the guy fell in and ran away, and it was taken away for 104 days for Chibanjo to fix some of the mess. And of course, they came out back on sideline with Chibanjo and continued in their. I was just looking at the silly Islamist and extremist. You know, the guy said that he's very proud to be called an Islamic extremist. An incompetent, dumb character who worked under an incompetent and dumb bubonic plague called Buhari. You know, so some of their useless takes. You know, if Nigeria is like some of the Islamic states where they cut off the hands of people for stealing, the most of them will have been with only one hand. You know, where they put people on electric chair for stealing in China, some of them will have been on electric chair. But these shameless guys will still have mouth to be talking down on Donald Trump. Oh, I am Sunni this, I am backing Iran. You know, look at what they support. They only support the wickedness, iniquity, terrorism, banditry. You know, oh, America is an empire that will collapse. Donald Trump is this and that. You know, the truth is, America has their shortcomings. I'm not saying America is a perfect society, but I tell you the truth. If not for the light of the Americans, yes, there are a lot of hypocrisy. Sometimes if you come to Africa, the kind of things they are doing with Uganda, with Cameroon, propping up criminals and the gerontocrats, some of the things that they do here. But on a scale, you know, weighing their good and their evil. If not for the light of America, the world would have been overtaken by darkness. Donald Trump campaigned on the mantra, America first. Make America great again. Everything he's doing is to make sure that America comes first. You know, in fact, he has actually rolled back some of the things that the liberals are allowed, some of the nonsense they are allowed. You know, allowing, you know, the interesting thing. Some people, immigrants from sane countries, are not allowed to come into America. They are restricted. But some people coming from terrorist-infested areas, are allowed to come. Something is happening in Canada. Something is happening in the UK. Citizens of saner climes, saner environments, where people work so hard, where people are not terrorists, are restricted. But those from terrorist-infested areas, they are allowed to. Donald Trump is trying to roll back some of those nonsense. Oh, America. If you are expecting America to collapse, you wait till the next 200 years. For your information, America is the biggest economy, the biggest country, the strongest country by miles. After Donald Trump, either Vance or Rubio will take over. After Vance, Rubio will take over. After Rubio, Baron Trump will take over. If you guys are going to see all those leftist nonsense, all those liberal nonsense that allowed America to become a plaything, the people wait till eternity. And for information, if you're expecting America to collapse, you're wasting your time. The biggest economy by miles, for your information, the biggest by GDP, the biggest by revenue, the mightiest by military strength. And they are restoring back what made America strong and thick. Their spiritual foundation. In God, America trusts. 48 out of the 50 founding fathers of the US were evangelical Christians. America is a Christian nation. It's a Christian state. If you don't know, America is not a Muslim state. It's not an atheist state. It's not a Confucianist state. America, 48 out of the 50 founding fathers of America were real tongue-talking Christians in character, in everything. Donald Trump may not be like them, but if you've not heard about Cyrus, go and study about Cyrus. And I'm telling you guys, he still has 3 years, and after him, Vance or Rubio. For the next 16 years, I pray that God will use them to shape some of the things that have been unshaped. For your information, for those of you from northern Nigeria who think that America will collapse, you're wasting your time. Somebody who lives in a country that has 197 million poor people, somebody who lives in a region that has 88% poverty rate, 89% illiterates, somebody that lives in a region that has 8.1 million people in IDP camps, 300,000 people in refugee camps, still has the gut, 23 million kids out of school. You're not bothered crying for yourself, putting sackcloth to see how you can save yourself from the hell and the Hades you've poured upon your lives. People that are killed like flies. You allow terrorists to take over your land in the name of stupid satanic religion, and you expect America to collapse. You're wasting your time. For your information, America's GDP is the biggest. GDP per capita for 2025, $88,000 per capita. Capital market, $100 trillion asset size. Pension fund, $45.8 trillion sized. Revenue, $20 trillion plus sized. And they have crude oil. They have everything. They are massive. And they are restoring back their spiritual foundation, which is the Almighty Jehovah they trust. If you think Satan and Satanists who are killing people, destroying lives, spilling blood, can invoke Satan over a land founded on God, you're wasting your time. People like Bashi, face your jungle. Remove the logs in your eyes. If the energy you people pour in abusing and causing Trump is poured into removing the, of course, Beelzebub cannot remove Beelzebub. People like Bashir are sons of Satan. They have no reason to remove Satan. Satan is their father. Satan kills, he destroys, he steals. So why would you expect Satanists to remove Satan? That is why I'm praying and crying. Other parts of Nigeria, other indigenous people of Nigeria, it's time for us to convoke a national conference. It's time for us to sit down at the table and discuss if we will continue as one country. India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh were one country. They separated and they are all living in peace. Yugoslavia was once one country. Today there are 6 countries. Nigeria can comfortably break into 6 countries. Everybody's doing. We can relate at arm's length. If I'm going to Kaduna, I will go with my visa. I cannot continue to share space with people who are archaic, who still lives in primitive age, who think that spilling innocent blood is a way of defending a God. A God that cannot defend himself is a useless God.